everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. Today we're going to work with this really cute set called Charming Duck Pond. Now this set is in our new annual catalog. Let me show you where it's at. And it's so cute. I kind of overlooked it when I first went shopping out of this catalog, but it didn't take long for me to really get on board with this. Now, it is a collection or a suite collection, which means it comes with everything. So you get designer series paper, you get stamps and dies, and some embellishments. So I have here in front of me all of the items that come in this grouping. Let me move these out of the way because that's going to be an add-on. But here are our stamp set and our dies, and you can see the dies are absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to be using mostly dies today in making this card. The little adhesive back dapple dots, and if you look at those, they look like they're cracked. They're very like marbled. They're very cute, and the paper is absolutely adorable. You have a scene on one side, and then on the other side you have some solids and some florals. Just different colors and textures, and it's very, very pretty paper. You can do a lot with this. So I'm going to show you a card that I did. I saw this on Pinterest, and it really piqued my interest. And we needed a Father's Day card, and I thought the ducks are so cute. So I kind of replicated the card that I saw on Pinterest. I changed up a couple little things, and I did kind of my take on it. And I want to show you how I did this, but we're going to do it in a different color and maybe make it a birthday card. So that's the great thing about any of your Stampin' Up! Products. You can always turn them into whatever you need them to be. But I'm going to move everything out of my way, and I'm going to show you. I have pre-cut everything because there is a lot of die cutting on this card, but I will go over everything and tell you exactly what I used so that if you decide you want to make this card, you won't have any problems. So let's pull everything out of our envelope. All of our little bits and pieces. And when you cut these, be really careful because there are some little tiny pieces that are going to be easy to lose if you're not careful. I'll lay the envelope over to the side. The first thing that I want to show you is we have a regular card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score this at 4 1/4. So I'm going to bring up my scoreboard for this, and I'm just going to lay this right here in the left-hand corner, and I'm going to line it up, making sure everything's nice and flat, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. Now, I don't think we'll need the scoreboard anymore. We'll need our bone folder. Also have a mat from that designer series paper that is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And that's going to go right here on the front of our card, just like that. Isn't that pretty? And then I have another piece of the designer series paper that's actually 2 by 5. And we need to ribbon cut. Now you can clip in the middle and then angle cut. Or if you have this retired punch, this one is not one that you can find anymore. But if you have any type of punch like this, this was the tailored tag punch. And it works perfectly for making your little angles like this. You can line it up inside, lock it down, and punch, and look. I think this one, I'm just going to do the one end. I did this one both top and bottom, but I think I'm going to try it with just doing one end of it. And then this is just going to be a little focal point on the front of our card, like so. Isn't that pretty? That already just dresses everything up. Now, these were my add-on dies. These are the deckled circles, and I used the 5th one from the smallest. If you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Yeah, it's the 6th one. 6 from the smallest. And that's going to be our little circle where we're going to build everything on. Now, I did cut this out of a heavier, the thick basic white cardstock. We're going to do some color blending. I'm going to lay that over there because I don't want to glue anything down until I get everything together. I'm going to grab a blue blending brush. These are our Stampin' Up blending brushes. And I think I'm going to get the boho blue. I love that blue. It's not real light, but it's not real dark. I always say it's just perfect in between. And I'm going to load a little bit up on my brush. I'm going to tap over here on the side just to kind of clear off, and you probably can barely see that. But then I'm going to start here at the bottom. And I'm just going about halfway up. Just keeping that going in circular motions. Tap a little bit more. Tap off. And I'm just going to go back and forth like that to kind of establish a little bit of a line. But you can see that's not really a line. It's just like a blue hue there. And that's all the ink blending we're going to do. Now I am going to take my cloth and I'm going to wipe off my surface here because I don't want to lay my card or my envelope in that ink. And this is water-based ink. All of the Stampin' Up stamping pads are a water-based ink, so they usually clean up really well with just some water. So now we're ready to build our little piece. Let's move this out. This is for our sentiment. We'll move that over there. Now, the first thing I cut was I took a piece of granny apple green and I used the dies, and you get 2 of those. You can cut 2 for 1. So what I did is I cut 2 of the granny apple green, and I cut 2 of the early espresso. Now, what we're going to do with the early espresso, I just want those cattails. I want to glue them over top of my cattails on the green. So if you go under here and just snip like that, these will line up perfectly on top of those. So all I'm going to do is take and put a little bit of glue. I'm going to take your pick tool because then we can just set that right down on top of there. And look how cute that is. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And if you notice what I'm doing, I'm cutting off to make sure that I've got the same one from the same place in both places. So again, a little dab of glue. Now take your pick and then just set that down on there like that. And we have made one of our green and brown cattails. Now we're going to repeat that with this one. So all I'm going to do is come under here. Snip that out. A little glue here. So I'm going to put some there too. It won't take but a second to pick this up and get it where it needs to go. And then we'll snip this one. And pick it up and glue it right there. And if it doesn't line up, just take it up in your finger and slide it, just like that. So there's our cattails, and they're going to go down something like that. I think I failed to tell you that my card base is pretty peacock. So we angle those out just a little bit like that. Isn't that cute? Yeah, we can throw these away because we don't need those anymore. Just cut those for the cattails. Then I have my lily pads. So we're going to put these down something like that. And then we've got our duck. Here's our little mallard duck. And I cut him out and again, I used the die, I used this die right here. And this was the wing and the beak. So I cut this twice. I cut it out of pink, and I also went back and cut it out of Daffodil Delight. So we have his wing, or her wing. And I'm going to glue that on it at an angle like that. There's no right or wrong way. You just want to get some glue in here. And then position it something like that. And we're going to do the same thing here on the nose, or the beak, the bill, whatever you want to call it. And that little piece right there is going to go just like that. And look how our little piece just comes to life. Now, if you want to, you can take a little scrap of black, and we can use a hole punch, whatever you have. I'm going to use my crocodile, and I am going to punch out just a piece of black. If we can get it out. It went. I knew it would come out in a minute. Actually, it's got another piece hooked to it, but that's okay. Evidently, I had some pieces in there I didn't know about, but we're going to flatten it out. Get just that piece of black. Because all I want to do is I want to glue that to the back like that to give his eyeball a little dot of black. So I am going to take a little bit of glue and put around the back, and then I'm just going to set that on there, and it glues to the back just like that. So now we've got our bigger duck, and we've got baby duck. So this one cuts two pieces when you cut it. Actually, it cuts three because you get the wing. So what I did is I went back and I cut him out of pink as well. And this is the new color called Pretty in Pink. We're going to glue this together, and we're going to drop that feather, his little wing, down in there. So I'm just going to turn this over. And some of this is a little tedious, but it's not hard to put all these little pieces together. And it just makes everything look so real. I guess real would be the word, right? Now I'm going to come in and put glue right where the wing goes. And I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. And then I'm going to just sit that in there just like that. So now he has a little pink wing. Now for his eye, we don't need to put black behind it because we already have the gray back there. I'm going to take my black Stampin' Right marker, and I'm going to use the bullet tip, and I'm just going to go right in that hole with a dot, just like that. to give him a little bit of an eye. Now I also want to take, I think I'm going to do my dark peach pie. And I'm just going to color his beak. Just for a little added shade of color right there. And this one's going to go right about here. Then we've got our little flowers that needs to go down. For these, I want to come in and put a dot of, I think I'm going to use Helen Heather. And just where that circle's at, and if you see, let me show you up close. If you see right there where that little tiny circle is, right here, I'm just going to color that purple. Just to give the flowers a little center, and just to make them look a little more realistic. That's all we need to do with those. So they're going to glue down maybe one here and one over here. And that's going to be our focal point that's going to go in the middle of our card. So since we got everything together, let's go ahead and start putting everything together. So what I want to do is pull everything off of here. We're going to put these down first. And my rule of thumb is just to come down here to the bottom and up to the edge like that on both sides. So I'm just going to put a little glue on the back. And then lay that down right about there. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. Cards like this are so much fun. Some people might say, oh, it's just way too much work. It's really not. If you just prep everything first and then put your card together, I just love it. I think it's so much fun. So I'm going to go ahead and put I think I'm going to use a mini dimensional on the back of the flower. Like that. And maybe one more on this one. I want the flowers just to kind of pop a little bit. Let's put this down before we. This one I'm going to put up to the top a little bit. So just a little glue on it. Then some glue on the back of this one. That. And then this one can go right there. And our little duck is going to be right there. And the big one is going to be right there. So let's pop up our little duck. Set him right there. And then I'm going to use larger dimensionals on my bigger duck. And we're just going to need a couple on him or her. And we're going to place her right about here. Isn't that so cute? I love that. So let's go ahead now and get our pieces in place. So look at the back of this. That could be a card all by itself. Look at that. And a sentiment. You could even stamp a sentiment on that and talk about an easy card. But I wanted to use that pink and the little, the greenery that's on that pink matches the pretty peacock. Love, love, love the simple coordination that Stampin' Up! Has with all their products. So pretty. Everything always matches beautifully. Get that down. And then the same with this. We'll put some glue on the back of this. Eyeball center. I don't measure. You can if you want to, but I think it's a homemade card, so it doesn't need to be. And then we can lay that right there. Let's pop this up on dimensionals. And since I've got so many, I'm going to use my Take Your Pick to pull these off. Just takes them off a lot faster. Now we want to make sure this is nice and straight before we set it down. And make sure we're getting it exactly where we want it. And I think right about here is beautiful. Isn't that so cute? So, so cute. If you wanted to, you could come back here with a yellow. Say, if I got any yellow left on this or not. A little bit. And just put a little hint of yellow back there in the sky. Beautiful. So it looks like we've got a little bit of a sky back there with the sun shining. I love it. So now we have our pieces to do our sentiment with. So for this, I just want this to be a straight out sentiment. I really want it to say happy birthday. We did this one, I did, and I made it Happy Father's Day because Father's Day is coming up this weekend. This one just said Happy Father's Day, and I got this from the Trusty Tool stamp set. But I want this one to say Happy Birthday. Okay, Round We Go has Happy Birthday. So I think I'm going to do that one. I think that will fit. Yep, I think that'll work. And I want to do that in black. So I'm going to pull out my favorite black ink for sentiments. And y'all all know I love VersaFine for stamping sentiments in a dark, rich black. So I'm going to use this ink pad. That is not a Stampin' Up! Product, but I do have a link for it in my online Craft Room Favorites on my Amazon store. So you can click on that link that's listed below the video if you are interested in this beautiful pigment ink. I'm trying to make sure I get this right on this piece where I want it. Beautiful. And then I want to cut this piece to mat on. So I want it to be, this piece is 3/4, so I think I want this to be 1 inch. about 3 1/4. And then all we have to do is center this on here, just like that. Isn't that pretty? And I think I'm just going to glue this flat down. I'll turn this over and we will grab some dimensionals and we will pop the whole thing up. On this one, I popped up the white piece and glued the peach pie one directly down. But you can do it whichever way, just so there's a little bit of variation in it. And then we can put this. You could do it, directly under. Let's do it like that. Let's just put the happy birthday right about here and press it down. Now the only thing we got left to do is to put us a mat inside. And I'm going to grab a scrap of white. Let's cut this to 4 1/8. Or 5 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. And inside this one, I did a little stamping, and I thought it was really cute. So for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I think I'm going to do time to celebrate. So let's do time to celebrate right there. Now I'm going to pull some stamps out of here. And I think I'm going to do this one. And we'll do that in the Granny Apple Green. I think I need to re-ink this pad. So I'm going to put it right about here. Like so. And let's come in with the espresso and grab the little cattails. And they are going to go just like that. So you want to try to get them lined up before you actually stamp it down. Looks good. Perfect. And then I want to do the little duck. Come on, early espresso. There we go. Let's do time to celebrate right here. And now we need to do our little duck. Do one here. Here. And one in the middle. So cute. So now that we've got our inside done, all we have to do is glue this in. And I'm going to use some liquid glue. Just like that. So we have finished. No, we're not quite done. Not quite done. Let's do a little bit of embellishment. And I think I'm going to do some linen thread. I love the linen thread on these cards. I just think it adds just a little something extra. So I am going to grab all my gems. And for this one, I think I'm going to use the pink. And let's put one right there. The smaller ones maybe right here. And another small one maybe right there. I'm going to take a piece of the linen thread and I'm just going to do a little loopy bow. Like that. Have this over. That. And this gives us a real cute little loopy bow to put on here. And I think I'm going to put that right about here. So a glue dot. And it has a really small knot on it, so I'm going to just kind of roll that glue dot a little bit with my finger and then stick it right down there. And then I'm going to stick the knot of that bow right into that glue dot so it won't go anywhere. And there are our two cards. I think that they are beautiful. I think that this is going to be a wonderful suite to have. Be sure to let me know in the comments which card you like the best. I think they both turned out beautifully, and even though they're the same, they are different and for two different occasions. I had so much fun making these. God bless and keep you, and as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. Until next time, bye.